Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy, and I am 100% glorifying obesity, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Take your girl and multiply about 4. Now a whole lot of woman needs a whole lot more.
People are allowed to eat what they want without feeling guilty about it. Get over it.
If you are looking for things to encourage being fat, you will find it everywhere. Hey guys, it's Germaine and welcome to my channel. As you saw by the title of this video, today's topic is going to be a little controversial. I feel like some people might not be too happy with what I'm talking about, but like I said, this channel is about me just being true to myself. It's a channel where I'm going to share my honest thoughts and opinions on things that matter to me, is close to my heart. I'm also sharing with you guys my weight loss journey and my journey to finding myself and just becoming all around a better person on the inside and out. I personally feel that being fat ruined I said life because I have been overweight my whole life. The only time that I was ever small and skinny was when I was like maybe 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. As soon as I hit 9 years old, I started gaining weight rapidly. At the age of 10, I weighed the same amount of weight that I do right now. At 10 years old, I weighed 80 kg. My mom would walk around trying to find clothes for me, and we would have to hunt shop by shop because no one would carry clothes my size. I couldn't wear even adults' jeans because I was short. I was just a 10-year-old kid, so I was short and small, but I was so big. So as someone who's been overweight pretty much my whole life, I feel like I was lied to a lot. And maybe people lied to me to make me feel better about myself, but that is the worst thing that you could possibly do because it just encouraged me to keep going and keep gaining weight and gaining weight. And I was the highest I'd ever been at the age of 21, I would say, at 120 kg. And I literally only started getting on a weight loss journey at the age of 25 or 26. I think I was 25 when I started saying like, okay, I need to do something about my weight, and I started losing weight. And even throughout that journey there was hiccups and stuff, and it was a bit slow. So now at the age of 30 is when like I am finally out of the obese category and I'm finally in just the overweight category, and I'm hoping to move towards the normal weight category. There are tons of fat positive people who are out there encouraging fat people to just be fat and be happy, and it's okay, you're beautiful being fat. So you have all of these messages out there. I don't necessarily think that what I'm gonna say in this video is gonna change people's thoughts, people who already think that way. I'm not planning on changing their thoughts, but I am planning on giving you another side to the picture as well. If you're looking for fat positive related things, it's literally everywhere. You cannot not see it. It's on shopping, online shopping websites, it's on like every modeling show, modeling related things. I would see like a range of models, and there's always like a super morbidly obese person in the category. There's literally, if you are looking for things to encourage being fat, encourage you to feel better about being fat, you will find it everywhere. But I think it's not fair to only show you the good side and the good things about being fat without showing you that there is also a bad side. I mean, I know like there are shows like TLC and stuff which shows you people who are like super morbidly obese and they're sick, they are like in their 30s. Your 30s, you should be living life. Until today, I'm still trying to grasp the fact that my 20s are gone and I didn't do anything in my 20s, things that I wanted to do, and 90% of it was because I was overweight, literally. And I'm going to talk to you about it in this video. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying being overweight ruined my life. When I was 10 years old, I remember like the initial part of me realizing that I was fat was I was a prefect at school, and it was like a pretty new school that had just been built. I lived in a place called Klang for a short period of time, and there was a new school that had just built at that time, and I was 10 years old and I got selected to be a prefect, and I was so excited. And I remember our school had like a little outing, and they were taking all the prefects out to go. I can't remember where they were supposed to go, but we were supposed to go somewhere, and we were all supposed to like carpool with our teachers, and I couldn't fit in a car. I couldn't fit in the car because there was not enough space, and there were a lot of kids, and all the kids were just average kid size. But I was 80 kg at 10 years old. and I took up so much space that I couldn't go on the trip with them, and everybody went by themselves. And I know some people would say that, oh, you know, the teachers should have been more considerate that there's a fat kid, which is true, they should have. But I'm just talking about the fact that how being fat ruined my life personally. Because I feel like we are always talking about, oh, this person should accommodate you and that person should do that for you, and this, like, literally everybody in the world should do something for you, but you don't need to fix or change yourself at all. So my point of view with my channel, my video is talking about why being overweight is not a good thing and we need to do something about it. Okay, so basically that was like my initial introduction to, oh my gosh, I'm fat, and that's why I can't like fit in the car with the other kids. And also during this time when I was 10 years old was when I started developing an appetite. So most of my life throughout my childhood, I had like, not eating disorder, but I had an issue with eating. Like I would just never finish my food, and I always had gastric and all of this. So as soon as I started eating better, my mom started getting happy that I was eating, and she was also very concerned of me getting gastric. So whenever I said I was hungry, she would be like, oh, we need to quickly feed her because she's hungry, because she didn't want me to get gastric. And I remember like it was bedtime and my sister would go to sleep, everyone would go to sleep, and I would wake up at like 9 something at night, or 10 o'clock in the middle of the night, and be like, oh, I'm so hungry, mommy, I'm very hungry, I want something to eat. And so my mom would sometimes go out and buy me like char kway teow. If you're Malaysian, you know char kway teow. That thing is like 700 calories or more, if I'm not mistaken. And after having my dinner, already having dinner, I'm eating something that's 700 and something calories, and I'm a kid, and then I go to sleep after eating that. And this was the kind of things that I would do all the time. Or I'd be like, oh, I'm hungry, I want nasi lemak, and so my mom would go and get me nasi lemak. Or sometimes I would be hungry in the middle of the night, and then I would eat bread with Milo. Do you know how fattening Milo is? And literally there was just like no rules for me in some sense, because my mom was very concerned about me getting gastric, and she also had no knowledge of like calories and things like that. Like back then, I don't know if people realize, that was the era of fat diets. Nobody really like paid attention to calories or things like that. I feel like everybody just paid attention to, if you want to lose weight, do some weird fat diet like soup diet or something like that, drop the weight and then gain it back. And then after that, I moved up to, I think, secondary school. I was like 13, 14 years old. I don't remember what I weighed at that time, but I definitely started growing. And I used to hate when we have PE, because first of all, it was so hard to find me track pants, be able to get the t-shirt, but like my biggest problem was always my bottom half. Especially my bottom half it's the part of my body that carried most of my weight, and so I was so big, and we couldn't find pants for me sometimes. And so and sometimes we would get the track pants, it would be like super tight at my hip area, so I would rip my pants a lot. And I didn't want people to see me run, I didn't want people to see me move about on the field. Like I didn't think I looked good, and so I didn't want people to see me. And so I would always be like, oh, I have asthma, I can't run, I have asthma, I can't join PE. And honestly speaking, I used to always think that maybe I'm just not the kind of person who like outdoorsy stuff. That's what I thought, until I lost weight, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually love running, I actually love walking, I love like climbing, I love doing outdoorsy stuff. But I thought I didn't because I was overweight, and I was always so conscious about being seen. When I run, like everything will be jiggling and people will see me. I was so insecure that I wouldn't do a lot of activities, and I cannot imagine any kid that doesn't like running and playing and doing stuff outside. Like even sometimes my teacher would have like netball, we were going to play netball, and my teacher would have to force me to go and play because I didn't want to be a part of it. And I remember, I think I was like 15 years old was the first time I played what was that, rugby in school. It wasn't like a competitive rugby, it was just like our PE, and then they split us into 2 groups, and then we just started playing it for fun. And it was just girls, there were no boys around, and so we were playing, and I was like, I got so into it. For a second I forgot that I was fat, and I got so into it, and I was running. I didn't even know where this energy came from, and I was running across the field, and I was like pushing everybody, and my teacher was like, oh my gosh, Germaine, you're really good at this. And I was like, I actually had so much fun. But if you ask me would I do it again, I would say no, because I was scared. I don't want people to see me like doing activity or running. I was so self-conscious of how I looked. And this is a fact. No matter how many times people are like, oh, I'm so confident, I'm overweight, but I don't care. I don't know if that is 100% true, because I cannot believe that deep down you don't have the slightest bit of like self-consciousness, unless you're like, you completely genuinely think like you're the best thing to ever walk the earth and you look so amazing and you're so flawless. I don't know how that's possible for someone to look at themselves like that, but if that's you, then good on you, I guess. But I'm just talking about my story and how being fat ruined my life. One of the worst experiences of my life during my whole journey of being extremely overweight is finding clothes. Oh my gosh, to be able to find just the basic clothes like jeans, just a pair of jeans, my mom would have to go shop by shop with me to find jeans. I remember every year when it's time to buy new uniforms for school, is a year that was so stressful for my mom, until I think when I was in secondary school is when she started thinking, you know what, let's stop buying or hunting for uniforms, let's just get it sewed. And so we would go to the tailor and get my measurements and sew my school uniforms, and that's what we did every year after that. I feel like there's also a lot of difference if you're fat and you're in an Asian country. So I'm Malaysian, I live in Malaysia. Being fat in an Asian country or in Malaysia is not easy. Firstly, nobody carries your size. It's almost impossible to find your size. Either there are shops that sell like this extremely large clothes where I clearly can't fit because I'm not there yet, or it's clothes that are like XL, double XL, but it looks like something somebody who's like a size 2 or a size 3 could wear. I would get emotional when we were walking through the shops and we were trying to find clothes, and my mom would be like stretching them out in front of people. And my mom is like the typical like Asian auntie, okay? She's my Indian mom, typical Asian auntie. She'll be like stretching the clothes and she'll be like, hey, what, this one can fit or not? Can fit Or she'll be like, she'll walk into the shops, literally this is what she does all the time. Show me your biggest size. Where is your biggest size clothes? Literally she would say that loudly to the shop people, and I'll just be like, oh god, at the back, and just like, and I'll just walk behind her and be like, oh gosh, please don't look at me, people, don't look at me. Oh my mother. I'm making this video on Mother's Day. And then there is a part of where I was like already overweight, but the only thing that could bring me joy was eating, because there's nothing else that I could do. I couldn't go on like roller coasters or like all these kind of extreme rides because of my weight. I clearly couldn't do outdoorsy stuff because I couldn't even walk for 10 minutes without like having knee pains. I remember my knee would be so pain, like at my joints, it would be so pain that I couldn't walk. Sometimes I would cry and I would stand there and try to massage my leg and I don't know what to do. Every single day of my life I would be in pain, and I'm not even kidding. Like, can you imagine being 20 years old, 21 years old, and every single day you're in pain like an old person? My leg would be so pain, I can't walk much, I need to stop a lot, and I'll be walking around places with my mom, and my mom is like 50 something years old and she's like walking really quickly, and she'll be like, can you faster, can you follow me, can you walk quicker? And I'll be like, I'm trying, Ma, I'm trying, and I'm the young one, and I would be like so held up at the back there because of my knee pain and my leg pain. And a lot of times my mom would have to like sometimes help me carry my bags so that I can walk. Like, it's so ridiculous. I'm the child, I should be doing that for her, carrying her bag, but instead she's carrying my bag so that I can speed up my walks. Every time there was an opportunity to go on a trip to participate in something activity related like flying fox or those kind of stuff, because of my weight I couldn't do some of those things because there is a limit to how heavy you can be to do those things. And there were times that some of the things they don't really like mention the weight, but they kind of imply it to you that like I don't think like this would be safe for you to do, and it's so embarrassing. I was not living my life. How is that living your life when you're seeing your friends, or like when you go on work trips and everyone's doing an activity and I can't do it? Every time we want to go somewhere and we're all carpooling, instantly my mind goes to this place of like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit in the car. So sometimes I would always have to sit in the passenger seat. Sometimes when I sit in a car, it's like a husband and wife's car, and usually, you know, if you're going if you're carpooling with like a couple, you're going to sit in the back seat obviously, but because of my weight, the wife would have to sit in the back so that I can take her seat in the front, because because of my weight. Like, it's just things like this that it was so embarrassing. It doesn't make sense having everyone try to accommodate your fat situation. What I really hated the most was I felt that I was constantly being lied to by people telling me that, oh, you look beautiful, don't worry about it, you look beautiful no matter what. I get that beauty is something that's from the inside, that shines on the outside. Don't tell them things that no matter what size you are, it's okay, you are still beautiful. Being fat is fine. You know, there are people who are big size, and the most common thing that was told to me was that everybody on my dad's side, like my aunties and all, were big built people, and so being African, you are like naturally big built, which might be true to a certain extent. Being fat, being 120 kg and going upwards, that is not normal, that is not genetic. Please don't lie to people. I was constantly reassured that I looked beautiful, and they would constantly show me other fat people who were successful, other fat people who were doing great things in life. I don't believe that being fat will stop you from doing great things in life. I mean, Adele was really overweight when she became Adele. Rebel Wilson has a beautiful career despite being overweight, and I mean, they lost weight now, but their career started off when they were big size. So I'm pretty sure that yes, you can. But what I'm saying is, don't make people feel comfortable just staying that way, because you know deep down that being fat is unhealthy. I was going through so much pain. Why wasn't anyone addressing my pain? Why wasn't anyone addressing the fact that, hey, you need to do something about your weight, that's why you're going through this pain? And I remember that, like, because I was constantly encouraged with being overweight, I came to a place where when I was in my 20s, if somebody would then tell me that, hey, you need to do something about your weight, I would get angry and I would get defensive. If there was anything else that needed to be nipped, it should have been done when I was younger, when I was a teenager. Controlling my food, pushing me to do activities, whether I liked it or not. Honestly, I actually liked it, but I was not encouraged to do it. I never got on a plane because I was always fearful of the fact that I won't be able to fit the plane seat, especially like small travels that are nearby. People would always say, oh, Air Asia seats are very small, and that would scare me. So I was always like, yeah, I don't even think I'm gonna bother trying to travel because I'm overweight, and yeah, it's just not for me. Whenever people tell stories of like their 20s and the things they did in their 20s, I can never relate, because I feel like my 20s was stolen from me because of the fact that I was overweight. I felt like I would pretend that I was confident and I love myself the way I am and I think I look good, but honestly, every single time I looked at myself in front of the mirror, I knew that I was not the best version of myself. I felt like the real me is trapped on the inside and I don't know how to get her out. And I didn't have any help because everyone was busy telling me I looked beautiful the way I was. But I didn't feel it. I would put on makeup, I straightened my hair, I would dress up in a way that I thought was flattering, and I would try my best to do everything I can to feel beautiful, but honestly, I didn't. And again, I was surrounded by people telling me, you look beautiful. Every time I said that, okay, even until today, oh my gosh, you know the amount of times when I say that, like, when I started my weight loss journey, the amount of people who will keep telling me that, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. You're beautiful the way you are. You're beautiful the way you are. Why are we doing that to people? Like, seriously. And I felt like there were so many job opportunities that I would have loved to try out, but I couldn't because I was overweight. And I think it's really ridiculous that you can do something to yourself that will hinder you from opportunities and jobs that you possibly would be amazing at, but because you're overweight you can't do it. I think it's so sad. In my 20s I dated here and there, but everybody that I dated were people that just because they like me and just because they think I'm attractive, I should be grateful and I should appreciate that, you know, someone sees me and someone likes me, and I went with it. I was so desperate to be accepted because I can't be picky. I'm overweight, I look like this, how can I be picky with who I want? And you know what's the most ridiculous thing that I always hear, like, other people who are overweight always say? Ask any fat girl the kind of guy that she likes, she's gonna pull out like some Dwayne Johnson or like some, I'm sorry, I can only think of Dwayne Johnson all the time because he's my celebrity crush, but like, think of someone else. Who else? Or like Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth. They'll always pick someone like that. Ask them why they're not picking like a Zach Galifianakis. Why are you not picking like a Jonah Hill? Then all these fat girls want the attention of all these fit guys, and they think that it's fat phobic if a guy who is fit does not find them attractive. That's fat phobic. But you also don't find other fat guys attractive. You find all these like super fit guys attractive, and you're saying it loud and clear that you find these fit guys attractive. I have not heard you mention any unfit guys that are attractive. So what's with the hypocrisy? Because you know deep down it is not attractive. Being fat is not attractive. You know it. I mean, it's different sometimes. Like you meet someone who's like overweight, and then you get to know their personality, and you actually are like attracted to that person. I mean, I've had that experience many times where I would see someone who is not physically attractive to me, but then as soon as I start talking to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually really like this person, and then suddenly they become super attractive to you. So that happens. But what I'm saying is that from the get-go, we are all visual beings. So stop lying to people and telling them like, oh, you're beautiful just the way you are, you're beautiful just the way you are, and affirming them on that constantly. Instead, try to encourage them to do something to lose weight. Another best friend of mine, her name is Abigail. She says I don't mention her name in my videos, so I'm saying it. Abigail, one of my best friends, Abigail. So she's like very much into fitness, and she looks good. She's slim, and she's doing well in this whole like fitness and healthy lifestyle type thing. Never in my life, not a single time has she ever told me that, hey, you look beautiful being overweight just the way you are, although you're big size, you look gorgeous. No. In fact, she's always the one encouraging me to do something about my weight. She's the one who's always encouraging me. But she's not telling me like, hey, you need to lose weight, hey, you need to lose weight. No. But she's the one always telling me that, hey, don't worry about it. Whenever I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm so overweight, or I feel like I look this way, she's not telling me, oh no babe, you look beautiful just the way you are. No, she's telling me, okay, don't worry about it. You know what to do. You know how to exercise. You know, we can always do something about it. Do you want to join me for my RPM class? Do you want to join my Muay Thai class? Like, that's what you want. Those are good people. Those are the kind of people that genuinely care about you and want to help you. Not the people telling you that you look beautiful being 120 kg. Anyway, I don't regret my 20s, but sometimes part of me feel like I did waste my 20s, because now I just turned 30 this year, and now I'm going into my 30s, and I feel like only now I'm starting to like live life and do stuff, and it feels a little I feel a little like late to the club. But I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I didn't start when I'm like 40 or 50, you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that I'm doing this now, because in the next like 5 to 7 years, I want to be married, I want to have kids, and I want to be at the best state and best shape of my life during that time. So I'm glad that I got on this journey and I'm doing what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I think it's important for people to know that being fat can ruin your life, and it is not something that should be promoted. And I think it's really unfair that these fat positive movements are constantly telling you that, you know, being fat, you can do, yes, you can take pictures of yourself, you can roll your rolls or whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. That's on you. But there is also a downside to it. The world is how it is. It is what it is. I'm not talking about people who are just slightly overweight and are like insecure about that. That is ridiculous, because in that sense, yeah, you are beautiful the way you are, but you can't look like this and then say this is beautiful just the way you are. You cannot find clothes easily with this size. You cannot run. You cannot walk long. If you have a heart attack and you fall in your house, it is going to be so hard for someone to come and carry you out of the house. You're going to ruin other people's life trying to help you, because what if someone injures themselves trying to save your life? Whether you like it or not, this body is prone to sickness and disease. If being underweight is unhealthy, being overweight is unhealthy too. You are struggling to carry your own weight. How in the world do you think you can take care of another human being? You're struggling to even take care of your own self. You can't fit through bathrooms. You might break a toilet bowl or a chair. You can't fit through some doors. What kind of life is that? How is that something that you want to promote? How is that something you want to tell people that, hey, you should be happy living like this, you're beautiful looking like this? Are you crazy? Have you seen those TLC videos where those mothers are completely dependent on their 10-year-old child, their 9-year-old child to do everything for them? Instead of that kid living their life and enjoying life and having their mom take care of them and cook their meals and prepare food for them, they are taking care of their mom. Why is fat positive people not talking about this? Like, these things are bad. This is not how you're supposed to live. The world does not revolve around you. You can't just say, I want to be like this. I want to eat my cheeseburgers. I'm going to eat all the McDonald's and nuggets and pizzas that I want. And I'm going to look like this. And I'm going to just gain all the weight. And the rest of the world's just going to have to deal with it. And y'all are just going to have to take care of me when the time comes. I get very worked up about this topic. I don't know why. Because I feel like I feel very directly affected by all of this, because I was one of those people receiving these messages. I was one of those people eating it all up, and I was eating it all up, and I gained 120 kg by eating all this bullshit. It is not fair. Stop lying to people. Being fat can ruin your life. It did. It ruined my, I would say, majority of my life, because from the time I was a kid, like I said, I spent a lot of my childhood not being able to participate in things, not being able to find clothes my size, struggling to fit in, not being able to join on trips or when people go places. I remember when we even had like a small hiking thing, I couldn't even walk. I had an asthma attack. That is not living. No 13-year-old, 14-year-old should be having an asthma attack after walking a little bit just because she's fat. No 21-year-old should be having joint pains and back pains and not being able to walk, and I couldn't sit for long. Sometimes my back would hurt. Like, all of this, literally everything changed. My knee pain healed, my back pain healed. Like, a lot of these things changed as soon as I dropped 40 kg. How is that possible? So, do you not think weight does play a part in all of this? Do you not think being overweight is a problem? I think I got a little worked up in this video. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell because I upload videos multiple times a week. And do comment down below if you have any other things to input in what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys would agree to the things that I'm saying, but this is just what I feel. This is based on my personal experience. If you have anything you'd like to comment, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.